It's great to be back at Rotary. It's been a while. And next time I'll be on a couple of lakes. I'm going to be very brief. I could talk about the Lake Louise District Property Owners Association, said it without taking a breath, for 15 or 20 minutes, but that's for another day. And Linda and I are always available if anyone has any questions. In brief, for anyone who might not be familiar, the association has just over 3,000 members right now. Seasonal residents like Dave Malhar, lots of year-round residents, campers, boaters, and lots of people who aren't actually property owners. Bit of a misnomer in our name, but we're taking care of that in January. Our pride and joy, two of them I guess, would be the Area News magazine, which is on the table. Many of you are familiar with it. If not, you too can receive that in the mail. Just talk to Linda or I. We're happy to sell memberships. Reed does that too. But second, and almost as important, if not more so, is our Lake Smart program. It's in its 8th year of operation, and Reed is a returning Lake Smart ambassador for the association. It's his 2nd year. He, along with 2 other people, he's going to tell you more about it, so I won't steal his thunder, have a very busy summer doing some pretty amazing stuff on the water with members, with people who aren't members. And he, like the other, is an environmental science student. Reed's a long-time cottager in the area, Granite Lake?
Yep.
Granite Lake. And we're happy to have him back for the 2nd year. But I'm going to let him tell you all about Lake Smart, because that's what he's been living and breathing all summer.
Well, thank you for having me to present to you guys and allowing me to come here and do this. And so what I want to go over with you guys is just kind of a brief overview of everything I do as part of the Lake Smart program through LODPOA. So, Dan? So yeah, meet the team. So my name is Reed Cupeiro, as previously introduced, and this is my 2nd year doing the program here with returning member Krista Robertson, who's on the left there, and she studies biology at Queen's University. And our new member this year is a friend of mine, Miles King, who is at the University of Manitoba studying ag business, which is the same that I am studying there. So that's the 3 of us, and we're the team for this year. What we do, so LODPOA hires us as summer students through the Lake Smart program. So we're kind of a subsidiary of them that they bring us on just for the summer to do environmental work. 2 of us are considered to be environmental stewardship technicians. That would be myself and Miles. And our 3rd member, Krista, is considered to be hired by the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters. So she is an invasive species specialist through them. We do relatively the same job, the 3 of us together, but Krista specifies in invasive species work on top of what we do as well. So our job is kind of split up into 2 different events. We have our regular day-to-day, as we kind of like to call it, which includes basically us simply going around to cottagers in the area, either by boat or by car, or however we can get there, and we talk to them as we find them on their docks or in their yards. What we do when we go around to all these different areas that you see on the list here is we have a kit, which you'll find on your tables there. I think there's 2 on each table. We have a kit there that has all of our information in it that ranges from what our organization does to environmental issues in the area. And it covers a whole range of anything they might have questions to. So when we go out, they're able to, if they're there and we meet them, they're able to ask us any questions they might have about the area, the environment, and just any concerns going on that concern the lake. This year I'm happy to say that we're surpassing how many dock hits and how many people we're reaching, and we're going to hit about over 600 docks and residents and cabins this summer, so that's kind of a big one for us, which is nice. And the next thing I want to talk about here, I don't have a slide for, because we couldn't have a graphic for it, but it's one of our bigger messages this summer, which is clean, drain, and dry. So for anyone who's unfamiliar, this is all to do with the stoppage of invasive species spreading in the area. So it's just something we've been handing out at all marinas, is these signs. We just go around, give them out, and ask marinas to put them up so boaters can see them and understand what they need to do to make sure they're not spreading anything from lake to lake when they're taking their boat out and putting it back in on different areas. So as I said, that's kind of our day-to-day stuff, but we have events that we work each summer. So one of our events and recurring events for us is the Madiowski Farmers Market. So some of you may have actually seen us there on Wednesdays if anyone's around. We're there every Wednesday, and we set up our little booth, and we have a whole bunch of information that kind of expands what's in our dock kit. It's a great way for us to reach a whole bunch of people, and we get a lot of questions and people coming up to talk to us about the lake and what's going on, and just try and help them out with any questions. We have our invasive species there as well, so if anyone's seen that as well, kind of got the creepy guys in jars, and they attract a lot of attention, and people come ask us about those all the time, so it's just a great way to reach out to people. And added on top of the Madiowski Farmers Market this year, we are actually going to be at the Sioux Lookout Farmers Market. Oh, sorry, yeah, Sioux Narrows. Thank you, Diane. Yeah. Whoops, but yeah. My bad. But yeah, so we will be there 3 times this year for the first time ever, I believe, so that's just another added thing to watch out for. Moving on to another event that we are doing myself for the second time. I'm not sure if we've done it in years prior. ELA tours, we may have, but myself for the second year, is we are going to do the IISD ELA lakes. So what we do is we organize trips for LoadPoa members and others to sign up with us, and we take them and they get to tour around this amazing facility that just has a whole bunch of tests that they're running on the environment, and that's very, it has a lot to do with the lakes and what's going on in the air, and they're doing some very good research towards all that. So if anyone is interested, we have one last tour going this year on August 23rd with me. So you gotta come hang out with me for the day, which is great. So if anyone's interested, there are a few sign-up sheets on your tables, or you can talk to Linda, myself, or Diane too. Moving on to another event we've been working on this summer is our kids camps. So we're doing 3 specific kids camps this summer. We've already done 2, and we found they've been a great success so far, and we really love doing them. So what we do is we go around to different kid camps in the area at the rec center or schools in the area, whoever's got a kid camp going on whatever week. And what we like to do is we bring a watershed model here, which is just kind of, it's a great little diagram for showing kids, because it's very, it's a great visual. They can really see what's going on, and it just shows how our watershed works in this area and how everything you do in the area affects the lake, and there's drainage into the lake and what can happen. And it's a great way to get kids really interested in what we're trying to say and preach out to them. Our next event we're doing is the second, oh, I changed the order on this. Yes, I did. Okay. Swim to Survive is a new event we are doing this year, and we have now done 2 of these events, and so far they are also going fantastic. It's another kid event where kids can come out and sign up to be in this program, where they learn what they need to do if they ever fall into the lake out of a boat or when they're not expecting it. So we've been going there in partnership with them and just helping out and talking to the kids and showing them the invasive species and kind of giving them another activity to do that day, and it's been a great outreach program for us for that. Now you can move on, please. Storm drain stenciling. So we have not done this event last year, but it's an event that we are continuing on from last year that went amazingly well. You may have actually seen them around Kenora, walking around in the area. Some of them are fading off, but some are still around, which is great. And so what we do is we're going around with kids who can sign up with us through our sign-up sheets that you see in the table at their market, or they can email us in any way to sign up. And we go around with them, and we use these stencils, and we go by any storm drain in the area that we're targeting, and we spray paint on this little stencil here that shows a healthy lake starts here, so that people know whatever's going down into this storm drain is actually making its way to the lake in the end and will be in our waters, so you don't want to be adding any pollution or anything to it. Metal Waste Collection Day. So this is another event we are doing for the second year at Pye's Landing. Third? Fourth. Oh, my bad. Sorry. I guess, yeah, I've been my second year doing it. You're right. My bad. But yeah, so we're doing this event again at Pye's Landing. We had a great year last year doing it with tons of success. As you can see, we have a lot of metal that was taken away and off of people's property to not be harmful to the environment. So if anyone's interested, this is actually happening on August 11th. There's little sheets on your table too that tell you, and it's at Pye's Landing. So if anyone has any metal or anything they're trying to get rid of in the area, you can bring it to us and we'll take it away for free. Purple loosestrife. So this is another one of our big things that we're doing this year, besides the Clean Drain Dry program, is the purple loosestrife. So a lot of you have probably heard about it in the area, and you've probably seen it in the area. It's these bunches of purple flower there. Look a little like lupins. Some people confuse them for lupins, but they are different. And they grow in marshes and swamps commonly, but you'll also find them in ditches in the area and anywhere where there's enough moisture. And so what we are doing is we are doing beetle releases. So this is our second year doing beetle releases, and we've done one so far this year, with possibly more to be done and more mapping to be done on the beetles. The beetles are called Neogalaricella calamarensis, which is a mouthful, and I did practice that. But so what we do is, you can kind of see in the far picture on the side there, it's a little hard to tell, is we get the beetles in a box that has purple loosestrife in it, little stalks of it, and the beetle larvae are on them, and we simply take the stalks, we put them on the purple loosestrife in the area, and the beetle larvae will eventually grow into a beetle, eat the purple loosestrife, and then move on. And these beetles are perfect for what we are trying to do, because all they do is eat purple loosestrife. So they will, over a long period of time, eat all the purple loosestrife in the area, and then they will eventually die off themselves, because that is their only source of food. So unlike a lot of other invasive species control methods, they're not going to spread to another plant and start eating your flowers in your garden. So they're very excellent for what we're trying to do, and we're really excited to be continuing on this program this year. I would also like to take a second to answer any questions if anyone has them about anything I've talked about or in the area, any lake things at all. Yes?
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Where does the metal go?
Where does the metal go? We have a fellow who has call it a junkyard, or he collects metal and he sorts it into different piles of things he wants to keep, things he can get rid of and sell personally. He's just out by the Kenora bypass here. Yeah, he's a local guy. So he comes out and he collects it for free. He brings these big bins and we load it all in for him, and then he takes it away for us. So as to what he does with it after, I'm not 100% sure.
He's able to sell some of it, and that kind of pays for his time and helps us provide a member service to our members. It just works all the way around. And he's a master at loading.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Question two.
Yep.
The invasive species.
Yes.
Big program of yours, but can you give us a little update on, are we getting invasive species invading us actually, or are we growing our own?
Well, good question. I only really touched on the purple loosestrife just because I can't go into everything at all today. But so the purple loosestrife is in our area. It is spreading in our area, as I kind of touched on here, but we are also taking measures to control it ourselves. So as far as purple loosestrife, that's where we're at now. We're releasing beetles to control it. As for other invasive species, most of what we are doing is just awareness to not have any spreading. So if you're looking at species such as rusty crayfish, if you've seen any crayfish in the waters here, those are rusty crayfish. So that's a problem that's already come and gone. They're here, they're very much here to stay, the rusty crayfish. So for us, there's nothing we are doing towards them. But
they're in Lake of the Woods, totally. I'm not sure they're in all our other lakes, which is a very good reason for clean, drain, and dry. Because one female can carry hundreds of eggs, and that will just take off in another lake.
It's a great segue.
You're talking about the crayfish, but what was that in the lake?
Yeah.
They used to have regular ones, now they're pretty much all rusty.
Oh, all right.
And they're bigger. They're still good eating,
Yeah.
But they're invasive.
And the rusty crayfish that are here aren't a species that is going to destroy or decimate your lake. They are simply more aggressive and have more of an effect on the environment than the native species. But another species that we are on the watch for is zebra mussels, which is a very common one from Manitoba, if anyone's familiar with what's going on with them over there. And they are probably the leading reason for the clean, drain, dry is they are spread effectively through boat transmission through lakes. So we are getting out the message to clean, drain, dry your boat to very much prevent the spread of zebra mussels into any lakes in our area over here.
Do we have any zebra mussels in Lake of the Woods?
In our area, yes. In our area of Lake of the Woods up here in the north, we do not currently have zebra mussels because the idea is right now that the calcium in our water is not sufficient to support them. So that is the current thought as to why they aren't showing up here. But as Diane mentioned, in the southern parts of Lake of the Woods down towards the States, they have found zebra mussels. So they are here in our watershed, but the conditions for them aren't great. So
something we haven't heard, I'm not aware of anyways, is what the other lakes in the area are in terms of calcium level. They may be susceptible. We tend to talk Lake of the Woods, but again, the clean, drain, dry. We tend to talk about zebra mussels a lot because everyone's aware of it.
yeah.
Now in Manitoba, did they introduce something to counteract zebra mussels?
They have tried a few different methods. As far as I know, none of them are incredibly successful and effective in removing them. As to what they're trying to do looking forward in the future, I can't speak to it. Any other questions? Yes.
Is anybody doing any follow-up on how effective the beetles are? We live on Lawrence's Lake, and we hear you release some beetles.
Yeah, that is the area we've been releasing in.
You can see there's more purple loosestripe there this year than there was last.
Yeah. Part of what we're planning on doing coming up in the next week or two this summer is we're going to go out and map the areas that it's spreading to so we can start keeping a record for ourselves how effective the releases we're doing is and where it's spreading to, how fast it's spreading, and what the changes are going to be. The beetles themselves take, it's a long-term process. It's not a quick fix, the beetles. They take 5-10 years. I would have to look into my exact information on it, but it's a long-term fix.
Good 5.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And
but
we'll just keep eating and moving to the next population.
but we are going to try and monitor it as much as we can through our program.
It's been very effective elsewhere, and they've been using them for 25 years. And I've seen slide time transfers.
I have a question regarding bulrushes. Certainly on the Winchell Creek where bulrushes that float and on the lake there floating. And Slate Beach now have a bulrush section which is growing. What contributes to that growth?
To the growth of the bulrushes? Good question. Off the top of my head, I don't have any specific information on bulrushes. My guess would be simply just the certain environment that they're in this year. It might just be a good summer where everything's come together, that it's been a good environment for them to thrive in, so they're spreading this summer more than they may have in the past, would be my guess. But as to specifically, I couldn't tell you, sorry. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes?
Very naive question. How is this purple blue
Loosestrip?
strip, how is it invasive?
You almost wanted to speak there, Diane, but okay, yeah. So it's invasive in, as he pointed out there, it will very much take over an area and spread very quickly, and it will push out any other native plant species. So you'll eventually go from having a little bit of purple loosestrife on someone's yard to it's everywhere, it's spreading, it's taking over, and which isn't great. It also, when it dies, it doesn't kind of nicely go back into the earth and such. It leaves these kind of sticky, the stalk dries up and it just kind of stays as a clump where it was. So it dies off, and then that area is very much unusable for a lot of plant life, so it doesn't help for the growth of an ecosystem and an environment. Welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Reed and Diane, thank you so much. I think we all know, everyone in the room knows, that the Lake of the Woods District Property Owners Association is recognized as one of the strong associations for lake associations in the province, or you can go so far as to say the country. It's special for so many different reasons, which maybe we'll hear about another time. But the Lake Smart program is really special, and particularly for someone my age, I am very pleased to see young people out spreading the word, spreading the message as to how to keep our lake smart, clean, and just the way we want it for future generations. So on behalf of the club, thank you for coming and making a presentation. Our club is making a donation in recognition of your presentation to the Rotary Foundation, and for that, we thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Cindy and Deb are going to show us the sample bricks for the splash park.
So these are sample bricks that we have done up to show people what they're going to be getting with what they purchased. So this is obviously the 8x8. They weigh a ton, which is good. But this is something that we wanted to show the community that if they're hesitant on buying a brick, this is what it's going to look like if it's a 4x8 or it's an 8x8. So we just wanted to bring this to the meeting to give you some samples.